Growing up as the son of a managing broker who was all about growth, I had no idea what it would be like. As I've grown to 100 agents myself and growing that team and that organization to great heights, I have absolutely stepped back and figured, what can I do to help others, teams, brokers grow, no matter what brokerage you're at? And so this is where the rubber meets the road, is right here. We're talking about empowering your top producing agents to help you grow. And what this really looks like is a culture of collaboration that is absolutely not, the norm in our industry. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, the Real Estate Agent Playbook. Super excited for this one. This actually is part of my growth checklist that I put together for brokers and team leads. So if you would like that, comment growth below. But also, if you could like and subscribe to my channel, that would be absolutely amazing. I also have short form content over on Instagram at the RE Agent Playbook. And we are also on the podcast. If you're on the road, please don't have the video distracting you. Head over to the podcast so we can grow that community as well. And as always, please share my content with any real estate agent that you think it could help, because my goal is to help you win every single day at the game of real estate. So the first thing that I kind of alluded to is the ability to incentivize your top agents. And as a broker owner, especially, and as a team lead, it's kind of, it's a whole thing, right? You've probably grown up and were a top producer yourself, and this is kind of the next step, depending on what brokerage you're at, right? For me, myself, it wasn't to be a team lead. I had the opportunity to be a managing broker of a 1,200 agent brokerage. In my mind, I knew who I was going to replace, who happened to be my dad, and what he did, right? He did a bunch of the litigations and the agent hotline and that kind of stuff. And in that brokerage model, he wasn't, training and helping. He did mentor some along the way, but as they grew bigger, they kind of used other options and avenues. The truth is that as a broker or a team lead, we often take on a massive piece of, the training. And the truth is that we are very limited in how we can train. I don't care if you were the top of the top producer and now you're 5 years removed, or you're maybe still in production because you have to do that to keep the lights on at the office or whatever, right? But we are still limited. Whether it's 5 to 10 years ago, obviously a lot's changed in this industry in 5 to 10 years. Lots changed in the last 6 months, right? Or it's you're still in production and you have to split your time between your clients and your agents and all the things. Regardless, we are very limited. And even if we had time and time wasn't a thing, we are only one person, right? We only have one perspective. We only have one set of experiences and goals and all the things. So having the ability to grow a culture with a group of agents is absolutely key. You know who your top agents are if you're a team lead. What if, you were looking to grow, and if your goal is to grow, that you kind of delegated some of this responsibility or came together as a group to help make the training offerings diverse, right? One person could build their business using social media. One could use, traditional tactics, open houses, cold calling, door knocking. One person could be a hybrid. One person could be an ads person. One could be, a master of their CRM. One person could be a master of niching down, right? If you had that group, and oddly enough, I do have that group, to help grow your agents and your team and your organization and your overall bottom dollar, your life would be a lot easier. So it starts with letting go. It also starts with keeping people in, right? And the truth is that you have to offer some sort of compensation or, something, growth trajectory for those top agents, or they're going to go find a better fit, a better situation, or maybe they're going to graduate to be a team lead themselves. So how do you step back, especially at the broker owner position, and say, okay, I want to empower these people. I want to reward these people for what they do, but I also want them to come together and build this culture, right? It starts with, maybe that does mean taking a hit on some of the commission splits. Maybe that does mean, having a new agent walk in the door and placing them in a perfect situation. But if that's the case and you want to grow, exponentially, you will have a better experience if you are allowing some of these, agents to, quote unquote, stack under this team or, be mentored by this person. And that might need to include you giving up a little bit of your commission split as a result. You say, well, that's not possible. I'm already, pretty tight. And, I did this so I could make more money and get some of my time back and, use leverage. And the truth is that what is on the other side of that? If you are delegating that growth, what does that free you up to do as an entrepreneur, as a business growth leader? What does that allow you to do, right? And so if you're able to set that structure up, it's absolutely key. So if you're a newer team lead or a small team or a small brokerage, maybe your goal is just to build up some leaders within it, right? Not to build up top producers, build up producers that have leadership capabilities. And so then your growth and your trajectory might look a little different. So as we are limited by, our markets that we, are part of the MLS or whatever, we have to make sure that if we are doing this, they have to be giving a little bit too. The person who specializes in niching down needs to make sure that they could help the CRM person if they had a question, right? It's a culture of collaboration versus a culture of competition. And in real estate offices, brick and mortar especially, there's this kind of notion of the secret sauce that kind of, hammers down on that culture every single day. And so if we can help do this with our vision as the leader, as the owner, as the team lead, as the broker, whatever you are, if you can start to develop these other people through maybe giving a little bit of your money to them, right? But also giving your time to develop those leaders, the duplication within your business can be absolutely key. And it all starts with that model and what you're looking at and, your overhead and all the things. I'm not here to say it's super easy. I'm just saying if you look at it a little bit differently, maybe, some of the newer brokerages out there that I might be aligned with maybe had it right when we talk about value stacking and providing, multiple layers of value. It's truthfully the next level of growth as a broker owner or a team lead. So then all of a sudden we can go off and we can start value-based recruiting, right? When people come into our office, you can say, well, how do you want to build your business, right? Well, you're going to get this from me because this is what I'm excellent at as your broker owner. And you're going to get this from, Taryn or Adam or Don or John or whoever, right? And as you kind of build that up and you start to do that, then all of a sudden these newer agents will start to have more success, right? My dad, as a broker owner, absolutely crushed, the contract and knowing how to use your tools and, that kind of service-based piece, knowing, your craft for sure. However, the marketing thing was never his forte. He got his license for 2 years, the minimum. He took the broker test and he started, leading agents because he had that to give, right? He had the vast knowledge of the market and the vast knowledge of the contract and all of the things, the connection to industry partners, all of those things he was great at. But when it came to when I got in the business 20 years after he had been, out of production for the most part, it was a whole different ballgame. Right? Because he had this whole other thing. He was building this entity. He was doing that. And so that was his focus. But once, if he came in and he had this other agent who was really good at, social media, right? And somebody came in and was like, hey, I want to build my real estate business through social media. Bam. How about you go, under this team? Or how about you talk to Jeremy? And he could set you up with, that stuff, and you still get access to all my knowledge. And so as you can see here, like the levels will continue to grow. And then maybe once you get that front line, then your goal is to build that culture and invest in those agents who are leading, right? To pick out those other leaders and lead them. And so then you kind of see how this kind of builds out. And if you create that culture and you get 4 or 5, 6 special people that are leaders that are, great, they're also going to stay, right? Because you're going to help them build a little income by, placing the right agents who are driven for, personality concepts and all the things that they are, but they're also going to have, that going for them. And then you're going to pour into them as leaders and duplicate the business. And regardless of what brokerage you're at or what the model looks like, if you're setting up this stack and you are having leaders create leaders who create leaders, you will absolutely have one of the best cultures that you can imagine, because everybody's kind of in it for each other, right? And if you do it the right way and you demand that, we're a cohesive unit versus a, competitive unit, you can actually change your culture in your office, in your industry. Not to say that you don't, but the reason that agents leave is because they're like, okay, my next step is to be a team lead. Okay, my next step is to be a broker. Okay, my next step is to have some leadership role, because I have, made it in this business. It's not easy, and now I want to be a leader. And if you can cultivate that into your brokerage model, that's absolutely key for you. And then you can remember, I got in this position to leverage my time and stop trading my time for income. Right? Time in, dollars out. Once you have a special group of agents that are there, then not only will they stay with you, but they will also actually help you reach that goal. Because I've talked to team leaders, I've talked to broker owners, and the truth is that there's very few of them that actually do what they set out to do. Right? They're still hustling. They're still doing. It takes so much to cover the overhead and all the things. And we'll talk about this in a later video. But this is all part of my, broker, owner, and team lead checklist that I have built. So if you are interested in that, comment growth below, and I will absolutely get that out to you. Or you can head over to Instagram, the RE Agent Playbook, and DM me the word growth, and you will absolutely get everything you need in that checklist. This is just one point. And so I hope this kind of turned on some light bulbs, had the wheels turning. As somebody who's grown a team to over 100 agents in 32 states, I've kind of gone through some of these growing pains, and I see the light. So if you need any help with that, if you get that checklist and you want to book a call with me, I'd be happy to dive into your situation and help you understand exactly what path you need to take and where you're going, because your goals might be very different. But my end goal is for you to see the light and help you grow however I can, help you get a win in the game of real estate. So comment growth below, and we'll go from there. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.